So good morning and welcome to our Facebook Live interview here in front of the New England Aquarium's beautiful new Indo-Pacific Reef exhibit. We're so fortunate today to be joined by Glenn Remick, who's our Director of Project Management, Exhibits, and Planning. He has the coolest job in the world because he gets to create exhibits like this for all of the visitors you hear around us having a beautiful time here on a very rainy Tuesday in Boston. So coral reefs are really important habitats. They're communities, very diverse. You can see all the beautiful color and the diversity of the fishes. And so many fish all around the ocean begin their lives in coral reefs, which is why we need to be protecting them, among other reasons. And they're threatened today by warming temperatures and climate change and other human impacts. And so we hope you'll come and visit us, learn more about what makes coral reefs such amazing ecosystems and habitats, and learn what we can all be doing to protect them. So I want to start us off this morning by talking to Glenn about how he ended up here. He started his career, I know, in museum work, and I'd love to hear just a little bit more about your story and how you ended up coming to the New England Aquarium doing the work that you do.
Sure. Well, thank you first for having me here.
Of course.
So I came to the New England Aquarium about 2.5 years ago. And before that, I was a principal at an architecture firm that specialized in museum designs.
Cool.
So for about 20 years, I was planning and designing museums and working on their exhibits and visitor experiences across the country. And it was really, really a cool job because what I really loved about it was that I got to go and work with these different institutions and the people in the institutions. It's about the experts and their passion, and I really enjoyed developing and creating with these people. But then I would have to move on to the next project, right, and the next museum. So when the opportunity came here to actually work with one institution and stay with one institution, I jumped at the opportunity, and New England Aquarium, is such a prestigious institution. So that's what brought me here, and designing exhibits, talking to you, wearing socks with sharks on them. I mean,
I love it.
This is what brought me here.
Well, I think one of the hardest things about this interview is we have to have our backs to this tank because it is absolutely stunning. And this does not happen overnight. This takes a lot of very careful planning. And so I'm wondering if you could just walk us through the trajectory of creating an exhibit like this. Sort of how long does it take? What's involved in actually making it look beautiful like this?
Sure. I mean, something like this takes, we've been working on this for about 18 months, maybe 20 months. And an exhibit like this takes that long because there's a lot of prep that has to happen. You have to acquire the fish, you have to design, and then you have to actually fabricate a tank like this. So there's a lot of work that needs to happen really, really early on. And then it's a team effort. I mean, I think if anyone's a Facebook Live regular, you'll have seen Taylor's presentation on exhibit design, and you'll know about the whole team. It's really every department is involved in creating like this. My job is to really kind of help orchestrate all of that and come up with the overall concept and kind of lead the team through this. So, for something like this, what we decided was we wanted to do something that has a little more impact. It's a little more immersive. This big curved concave plexiglass window here is really kind of encapsulates your whole cone of vision. So it really creates this kind of immersive feeling, like you can almost step over the threshold here right into the water column. So for something like this, something of this size, well, first I should say this is unique because the aquarium was designed 50 years ago, and it had some really ingenious components to it. And one of them was that the public floor is 3 feet below the back of house. So all the tanks sit on the back of house floor so people can access the tops of the tanks from behind the scenes.
For care and feeding and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, but then on the public side, it's at eye level. So what we decided here was, well, what if we pulled the tank forward of that shelf and created this kind of full floor to ceiling, window here. And so we said, well, this would be much more immersive. It would allow children to kind of be at their own level, walking around and chasing fish. But something this size is also a lot bigger and a lot heavier. So we had to kind of really scope out the area. And this is a really unique bay that we can actually do this because there's special floor loading. It's on the first floor. There's extra structure below. So this tank weighs about 80,000 pounds.
Wow. And what, 9,000 gallons or something like
gallons,
that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Crazy.
So just to, have the floor in a 50-year-old building be able to hold that was the first challenge. And then the second challenge is, the space around it. So we're down at the bottom of around the giant ocean tank. There's extra space in front. So to pull the tank out, we had more space in this area, so it allowed us to do that. And then, just getting this into the building, we could do the tank in pieces, but this giant window, it's about 22 feet wide, 7 feet tall. It had to get through regular double doors, right?
If you've ever had a mirror installed in your bathroom or a shower door, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so it took a lot to get it in there, into the building. So that kind of, this window could not be another inch taller without some major demolition in the building. So we really maximized the size. And then it's, about, my role is really to kind of come up with the overall concept and shape and everything. And this really was working as the Indo-Pacific Coral Reef, and we got a prop, right? Okay. So visual.
Yeah.
So this is one of the smaller versions of one of the graphics here. So this is a world map. Indo-Pacific Coral Reef is this yellow area. Our giant ocean tank is the Caribbean Reef, which is right opposite us over here. So the idea was, if we have these two reefs, why don't we create an exhibit that's really about the two tanks, right? So
world ocean.
Exactly, expand the thinking to be really about ocean health and everything. So the giant ocean tank is like this, big cylinder in the middle of the aquarium. So we kind of pulled off a piece of that to create this exhibit. So you have the convex surfaces of the giant ocean tank and the concave surface of this. So we're really, architecturally, it has this dialogue, and then thematically, it has this dialogue about reefs of the world and coral reefs.
Well, and it creates a really nice open space that allows people to really mingle and observe and be inspired by what they see. And so clearly there's a lot of art to creating an exhibit like this, but there's science as well. And I think it's the balance of that art and science that makes the visitor experience what it is. So we're very fortunate to see about 1.4 million visitors a year coming through the New England Aquarium. And I know another part of your job is thinking through what that visitor experience is, not just for this one gorgeous exhibit, but for the whole time someone is here with us. So I wonder if you can walk us through sort of what goes through your mind as you think about the visitor experience.
Wow. So there's a lot involved. When I came a couple of years ago, we really did an overall analysis and kind of came up with a visitor experience master plan. A lot of this is kind of the first piece of implementing it. So keep coming back. We're doing a lot of change and coming. But really it boiled down to kind of 3 principles. And what we try to do here is we try to focus on what's unique about us, right? Which is the collection and our mission, where a lot of other institutions might have, a piece of art or an artifact or something. We have these live animals, right? So you have this reality here that we really want to showcase.
And animals that most people will never have a chance to see. And by seeing them, it helps educate them and inspire them about what's happening in the planet. Right.
And it is really unique because a lot of other institutions that I worked at, it's, about virtual reality and augmented reality, trying to create reality. We have that reality here, so it's really something that we focus on.
And you can hear it in the squeals and delight around us.
And then the other thing is the mission, right? So our mission is really unique, and that a lot of other institutions are about education and entertainment, but we really have this deeper kind of meaning on, we're about research and conservation, advocacy,
Yeah.
all these things that I know you're passionate about, that the institution's passionate about.
Yeah.
So those are things that we're really trying to emphasize here at the aquarium.
So as people, you mentioned this is our 50th anniversary. We were the first modern aquarium in the country. That's amazing, and also presents certain challenges because we're a 50-year-old building. But what you and your team have been able to do to kind of keep that current, including this exhibit, I think is really spectacular. And being this first giant ocean tank really sets us apart as well. So talk to me a little bit more about that visitor experience and the interpreters, and sort of how you see, what's the trajectory you hope people will take on their, or what will they leave here thinking as they've walked their way up to the giant ocean tank and back down to this beautiful exhibit?
Yeah, so I mean, we have so many wonderful experiences and exhibits, and it really is about creating these memories. Creating selfies. And creating these social experiences. So that's the real draw. We have all those, but what we're also looking at is kind of the overall narrative, right? So, how do we kind of organize all this so that we keep everyone's attention? We create kind of a rhythm.
Right.
And so we've always
it's like
had
telling a story almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like any good story, you need a really strong beginning, middle, and end.
Yep.
And we've got a really strong, you walk in, you've got that open penguin tray.
Everybody loves the penguins. They're being very noisy this morning too.
Yeah. It's really a dramatic kind of wow moment. And then you experience all these wonderful exhibits, and you get up to the top of the giant ocean tank, you're looking down into this amazing, like you said, unique tank. And then you have other exhibits, and then you just left.
Right.
So here, this location was always planned to have something. It's kind of that last impression, that those exhibit designers like to say, that kiss goodbye.
Yeah.
So we really focused here on inspiring, talking about community and diversity and inspiring people, because museums are no longer really about, giving all the facts about any kind of, all the information you can about an exhibit. It's really about inspiring. You can get all that information on your phone. So you really want to create these experiences that really inspire. And so this immersive exhibit is really intended to just inspire.
So we've been here a little while this morning, and it's just remarkable watching all the families, young and old actually, pressed up against the glass for a long time, watching these animals. And I think that's what you mean by the experience. You almost don't need words, because they're seeing things they've never seen before, and the color and the diversity is just spectacular here. So this is an artificial reef, and I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about how that was actually built. We do in this aquarium have living coral reefs as well, but to create something of this magnitude would be, I think, almost impossible with live coral. And I'm wondering if you could just speak to what went into making this and why it looks the way it looks like it does.
Yeah, so it's, since coral is living, and it's like cities and communities for other fish, you wouldn't want to just like take the whole city out of the ocean and put it in this tank. So what we've been able to do, these are all castings and sculpture, and part of my team are these two master sculptors and artists who have created all of this, and they created all the coral in the giant ocean tank and a lot of our other exhibits. And so the idea is to really, it's also, the Indo-Pacific is such a large area that these are corals, you can actually have kind of a collage of corals from different areas, because we have fish from this wide
region. And they're used to the corals that they know the corals that they've come from.
So I mean, this really starts early on with fishes and talking about what kind of habitats they want, where the hiding places should be, where they want to burrow and things. And then we talk about the architecture. As I said, there's a shelf here. There's a column in the center, actually, that's covered with this. So, I mean, it's masking the architecture and everything to create this kind of, this microcosm of the Indo-Pacific area. And so all these are resin and fiberglass castings, and some of them are complete sculptures, but a lot of them are taking real coral, creating casts and molds, and then casting new ones, and then painting them or putting colored resin in. And so this, all this coral here took about 9 months to create. So.
In and of itself, it's just a beautiful, beautiful piece of art. And then you layer in the diversity of species and fishes that you have here. It's just, it's really a beautiful thing to see. So maybe this is an unfair question, Glenn, but do you have a favorite exhibit?
Well, this one, of course. Yeah, I think this is my favorite exhibit. I mean, I think we, I've been here a little over 2 years. I worked on the science of sharks when I first came here.
Yeah.
Done some fur seal things. But this really is we had this kind of master plan and starting to look at where we're going in the future and where the future of the aquarium is, and with your vision and everything, trying to look to the future. And this is really the first step in that, and that really makes me excited about the future and the potential of the aquarium and the support that everyone has to really meet the expectations of our visitors and constantly stay ahead of their expectations.
Well, and I think the public is becoming more and more aware of challenges facing the ocean, facing our planet, and being able to come to a place like this and learn more, understand more, and then figure out ways to make it better, I think is a part of our journey as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure if we have any questions. I think we're okay on questions. Well, I have to shamelessly say, please, if you've not come to the New England Aquarium to see this beautiful Indo-Pacific Reef exhibit, come. It's worth it, and you'll enjoy every minute. And I want to thank Glenn for being with us today and for all the great work he's done with us to make this possible. Thank you so much.